Hello, boys and girls. Welcome to a brand new episode number 3 of Keeping It on the DL. I'm Dave. That's Lambert. Got a big show for you here today. We're going to talk about some more Warzone 2 stuff because we just love Warzone 2 here, and the various changes that they made over the past week to the game, as well as Final Mouse's honestly pretty sick keyboard design. We'll talk about some of the details on that, and then we get into the sports side of things. Talk a lot about football. Obviously, a lot of big comebacks happened this past weekend. Um, the Pats making one of the dumbest plays I think I've ever seen in football history,
Yeah.
um, as well as some big OT comebacks, and then we got a fun little game to kind of wrap things up for for this week's episode. All that and more coming up right here. Get your popcorn ready, get your soda, get your beer, turkey leg. I don't know, whatever you want to eat. Have fun. Anywho, Mr. Lambert, how are you, sir?
Hanging in there as always, living alive. Could be better, could be worse. It is what it is, you know?
Yeah, yeah. I uh, I feel that. I feel that. I feel that. You ready for this wave of coldness that we're about to get?
Um, yeah, I saw there's for the past week, I saw like these recommended YouTube videos, like, oh my god, like some of the worst blizzards ever, like record wise. I think it's at least for where we are, it's like we're not getting the brunt of it, but
Yeah, we're not really getting any
um
snow. It's just cold.
yeah. But other places are getting a fuck ton of snow.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's unlucky for them. But
That
yeah,
that it is.
it's gonna be very cold at least for us, which kind of sucks.
Yeah. And I've come to the realization, dude. I think I've reached the point where I'm over the cold. You know what I mean? Like I used to be that guy that could sit there and like I wasn't the guy that was going out in fucking shorts in 20-degree weather, but like
Yeah.
I was the guy to wear like if it's 20 degrees outside, I don't even have my heat on in the house. You know what I mean? Like I'm chilling. Sweatpants, hoodie, I'm good.
Mm.
Yeah, not anymore, man. Not anymore. I don't know what happened. I don't know what changed, but like something happened that caused me to just sit there and go, "Yeah, we're not doing this anymore. Like we got to be warm all the time. It doesn't matter what it is."
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. I used to actually prefer being cooler, but
Yeah.
yeah, recently it's just like I'm always have the portable heater on in my room because it's
Yeah.
just I think in my opinion is way more comfortable.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't get it, man. I honestly don't. I don't know what happened. I don't know what changed. I don't know if we're just getting old. But like yeah, it's I need to move south. I mean, that's the solution right there.
That's it. Yeah.
That's it. But uh so some big changes happened to Warzone 2. As I'm sure a lot of you already know and have seen, but um some pretty massive changes actually. And some of it kind of being stuff that a lot of the community's been asking for, as well as just stuff that kind of reverts back on some of these new ideas they've come up with. But um one of the biggest changes they made was they made your buying your primary weapons cheaper, $2,500 instead of $5,000. um
Yeah. Interesting choice.
yeah, to me it's pretty easy to find $2,500, especially if you go to one of the high tier loot spots. I mean, you and I, we land like the airport area, usually a couple of cash registers and you're done. You already got that,
Yep.
if not more. So pretty interesting choice to do that. Um, but I think it speeds up the pace of the game. So again, honestly, a solid change in my opinion when it comes to that.
Yeah.
Um,
Definitely. Definitely. I think a positive one.
but then I think it was like a day or two later, only they decided to put in buyable loadouts, so you can actually go to the buy station, purchase a loadout now. Um, Unlike everything else in the buy station, I don't think it has like a limited quantity. Um,
Oh, okay.
unlike like the UAVs and stuff like that. Um, but the dollar amounts are questionable. Um, you and I talked about it when the game first came out. Um, we kind of had that idea of having making loadouts purchasable, just make them more expensive.
Yeah.
Um, which they did that. However, I feel like for some of the larger group modes, it's a little difficult because, for context, solos, it is $8,000 for your loadout. Duos, it's 16. Trios, it's 24, and then quads, it's 32,000. $32,000. I don't even think there's $32,000 on the map. So
You
like,
may be right about that.
right, so like that's the thing. Like it is so difficult to find that kind of money, and on top of that, I mean the loot in that game, I feel like it just goes away so quickly that, like, let's say you're mid game and team gets wiped and you got to try to reset and try to scrounge up money to get them, but obviously all the contracts are practically gone at that point, and everything's already been looted and stuff. Like, it's already so hard to try to regroup and refocus and you know get things going again.
Yep.
I mean, at that point it's impossible to try to get your load out, at least for $32,000. um I don't know. You when I mentioned that to you, you said it was good. You thought I mean, do you think the price point is good, or do you think that's too steep?
At first I thought it was good actually, because I thought the high price was good because it would mean that someone wouldn't just have their all their classes within the first like 2 minutes of the game.
Sure.
But now that you mentioned the fact that how often the loot just pops and just disappears, yeah, it might be a little high just for situations where even if like let's say you get a team kill and you end up in another fight, by the time you're done with that fight, that first sort of pool of loot is probably gone, which is kind of annoying.
Yeah. Yeah. No, 100%. And
Unless they improved it. I don't know. I haven't played in a while.
no, they haven't. But um yeah, I don't know. I think the price point's too steep. I think what would be better, like, I still think you keep it steep. Just maybe make it to where, like, for duos through quads, make it like 20K. I think that's a pretty reasonable amount. Um, and then solos, maybe just make it 10K for solos. Because honestly, finding 8K in solos isn't that hard. Um, I've actually managed to find that, like, kind of easy to do. Um, but for the other modes, man, yeah, it's just it's too difficult. It's too difficult. I think the price is too steep. And on top of that, what's the point? Why would I spend $32,000 as a team when, I mean, just do the math. It would be 20K for everybody to get two primary weapons. Like, why am I going to spend an extra 12,000 for a tactical that I could just find on the map, a lethal
Yeah, that's
that
a
I could
good
just
point.
find on the map, and on top of that, the perks don't even fully work anyway. So, like, why would I waste that money
Yeah, that's a good point. If the perks, I mean, people are used to playing without their perk, right? For
at
a
this
while
point,
now. So
right?
if you make that argument, it's like, yeah, why spend all that money on that stuff when you could just buy your primary and then just stack up on like UAVs and shit and armor?
Yeah, and especially because, like, in this game, there's limited UAVs. You can't, I mean, each buy station only has typically one. You know what I mean? So, like, you can't, and they don't restock. So people aren't going around just spamming UAVs the entire game like they did in Warzone One.
Yeah.
Um, which, personally, I'm actually not okay with that. I would rather the old system. I think it just makes the pacing of this too slow. But anywho, um, yeah, like, so really, you don't even need your perks, and because of the perk package system, chances are some of those other perks that are in that perk package you don't even want anyways.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? So like it makes it pointless. Like, why would I go and waste that much money to, essentially just buy two primary weapons when I could just buy two primary weapons for way less at that point, or even just buy one primary weapon and then immediately just start to go and hunt and try to get kills. Like, I think the primary weapon change, like making that cheaper, I think that was a good change. I think it was a really good change actually. Because I think it ups the pacing of games quite a bit.
Yeah, which I guess is kind of a problem. It's just how slow the games feel right now.
Yep. Buyable loadouts, on the other hand, while yes, great that they're in there, I think the price is too steep. I think it's too much. I think it's too much.
So you think? Wait, what?
I think the price of the buyable loadouts is too much. Like,
Oh,
I think it's a good change. Like, I think it's good that it's in the game again. But at that point, you got to make one or two options there. Either one, make them a little less expensive, or two, actually probably the better choice, you just make them less expensive and then just get rid of the option to buy your primary weapons.
better.
Like, because otherwise, again, why would I waste my money, especially when it's already hard enough to find money in the game.
Yeah, like you want a certain gameplay style, and having both options, you're right. People will just drop somewhere, speed on 2500, buy their primary, and immediately just go somewhere else and just kill the whole team. So
Yep. Um, and what's cool about it too, like, it kind of makes it so like you don't even really need to go to a stronghold. Um, you could just pretty much avoid them. I mean, if you want to go to a stronghold just because you can get the free loadout if you kill the AI there, sure, maybe it's still worth it, um, but I mean, as a whole, probably not. I mean, you do get the other loot though. You get the 3-tier vest, typically a better backpack, gas mask, money. So maybe it's still worth doing the stronghold,
his
but
3-play vest is obviously very important. So
yeah, especially in that game. So so maybe it still makes that worthwhile. But yeah, I don't know, man. I'm a little torn on that. Like again, I like the Bible, or I'm sorry, I like the primary weapon change. Bible loadouts, yeah, I just don't really see the point. Um, but at least they're listening, right? At least they are listening and willing to try to do stuff.
So at least they're attempting to mess with shit and
Yeah,
at least give me the facade that they give a shit.
right, right. Um, Building 21, this super talked about thing um for a decent chunk of time. They hyped it up, saying that it was going to be a part of the season one Reloaded update. Doesn't come out on launch day for that update. Um, Instead, they randomly dropped it. They didn't say that they were going to. They didn't say when. They just randomly dropped it, and they only made it available for a day to take
Why?
it back out, and they're gonna put it back in a week. Why? Couldn't tell you
Why?
because they don't tell you. They don't fucking say shit.
Why?
Um, but probably a good thing because the amount of issues I saw people having with it um was interesting. So when you get into it, you go through, you got to clear it all out, you get all this high tier loot and all that stuff, right? But to get out, you have to like you get like a key card to get out of the building. And then you have to like call an elevator or some shit. But if you don't get out after so long, and AI just keeps spawning at this point, but if you don't get out after so long, radiation starts to fill the building,
Really?
and yeah, and it'll just it'll it'll obviously kill you if you're in there for too long. So one of
So
the
is this
issues.
just a random building on the map?
No, maybe I don't know. I don't think so. I think it's like actually like it was actually almost like a mode um that you went into. Like it was DMZ related. Like it was still DMZ, but like you had to complete the Spec Ops mission that gave you like the key card for it.
Oh, okay.
And then when it dropped, like you were able to go into it, from DMZ. Maybe it is on the map. I truthfully I don't know. I didn't really see too much, unfortunately. But because of course when they dropped they dropped it on like a fucking Monday, um,
Yep.
which was very random. And then yeah, again it was gone after a day. So um,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
yeah, and for people like us who don't get the luxury to sit home and just play video games all day. It's you didn't even really get the opportunity to see it or even really know
Yeah.
about it. So
Rip.
yeah,
Rip
um,
doing nothing.
right, right. But the issue that people ran into, like one of the biggest bugs I saw, and it was for a lot of different people. One of the biggest bugs I saw was that they you would call the elevator to get out, but it would never come.
It's just bugs.
Yep. So you would just die and lose out on all that shit that you had.
Yeah, that's frustrating.
Yeah. So, um, with some of these changes and things they're doing, things they're implementing, and again, it sounds like they're at least somewhat trying. Let me ask you, man, does it make you want to play Warzone 2?
Nope.
Yeah. That's kind of my thought because even though it's even though it is good changes for the game,
Yeah.
I I I still think that there's still way too many other issues that need to be addressed. And on top of that, I also think that it doesn't change the playstyle enough.
Not at all.
And that's kind of where the issue lies. Like I think it still makes it a slower paced BR um as a whole. Even with you being able to go get your primary weapon pretty much right off rip. Um Even with that change, I still think it's fairly slow paced. And I just again from a content lens, it just I don't know. I just don't feel like there's enough for it.
Yeah, I feel that. Again, it's good they're sort of working towards something, I guess, one way or another.
Yeah,
But it's gonna take definitely a lot more than some buy station changes to, I think, sort of motivate at least me to even like fucking launch the game again, let alone play it again long term.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I will say I was having the. Let me rephrase. I wasn't having fun with shipment because it's shipment. But then the moment that I just sat there and was just like, just accept it for what it is. You know it's
Yeah,
bad. It's always been bad. Just fucking deal with it.
I kind of dig
Um,
shipment on a weird level.
I hate it. I always have. Always have. It's such a shitty map and such a poor design.
Yeah,
Um,
so what? So what?
the only reason why people like it is because it's just pure chaos all the time.
Yeah.
Um, but playing that and like grinding camos again, especially during the double XP weekend, like I'm not gonna lie, I actually had like a little bit of fun doing that again. But yeah, not not feeling the Warzone 2 vibes. You know what? Fuck it. Just going back to Apex. Just just gonna start grinding it. Just gonna start doing it.
Um, about we go balls deep into
Yeah.
Ranch Simulator.
I like that idea even more. I'm a little upset that we haven't played in a while. We also need to play Played Up. We haven't played that in quite some time.
That's been freaking a while too, and that
Yeah.
game's just super fun. Just I mean, we've all been just been like
we've all been busy.
in
You know what I
different
mean?
ways,
Like
same with work, right? So it's
hundred
just kind of
percent, right?
rough.
Like I'm working third shift. You're working a full time job. You got Joey working. All over the place hours wise. Like yeah, it's been holiday life for or retail holiday life for all three of us. It's been fun. It's been fun. But um
Lucky,
yeah, a little
not
bit.
rich
But
yet.
nah, not yet, man. Not yet. One day. One day.
One day.
But so anywho, on to some other news. Final Mouse. These guys are a very interesting company as a whole. I know you're
Yup.
kind of big into them, but these guys are releasing a $349 keyboard, and it's a very interesting keyboard. Maybe
It
you know a
uses
little.
Unreal Engine 5.
Yeah, go ahead. You dig in. You tell me all the specs because maybe you know a little bit more than I do.
Oh, specs? Oh shit. Yeah, specs.
Okay, never never mind.
Uh, Final mouse keyboard specs. Here we go. I know this all off the top of my head.
All right, go
So
ahead.
I mean I do know some stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
Obviously the entire I guess gimmick with the keyboard, right? Because 350 is not cheap, and I think a lot of people will realize that. But I
yeah.
also think that 350 is also not bad considering what you're actually getting here. If you're into this type of shit.
Right.
But the keyboard has its own processor uh and GPU
Yep.
supposedly. I'm assuming they're not too high powered because they just have to animate shit, but
Right.
still that's I don't know if that's ever even been done before. Maybe once on like an old Razer keyboard that had like that touchscreen thing on it.
Yeah,
Um
maybe.
that had maybe that had like its own CPU in a way, but this is nothing's ever been done like this basically. So the whole idea with the keyboard is the base plate, which is usually just black on most other keyboards, right? The thing
Right.
that's underneath the keys, just
Yep.
the base plate itself, is going to be glass,
Yeah.
and this glass is obviously clear, and it has an entire like LED panel behind it, and pretty much you can. I think they said they're going to have like a store where I don't know if they're going to have like I'm not sure all the details yet, but I'm not sure if there's gonna have developers put up their own sort of animations and videos and stuff,
I'd
and you pay
imagine,
for
and they'll
those,
probably
or if
have
they'll
like
be
their own like stock ones on there and
yeah,
stuff
yeah.
available.
I'm
Yeah.
assuming some will be free. I'm assuming some will be paid. I'd imagine, because why wouldn't you? But from what I'm seeing here, just to get into a bit more of the specs, um, the switches will be a Gateron linear black inks, which is if anyone knows anything about keyboards, are probably considered some of the best switches on the market.
Yep.
Um, so there's that to look forward to. Not only is it cool in terms of its animation, it's just a good keyboard in general. Um, but so they call it a laminated display circuit glass stack, um, which uh, supposedly is more durable than general glass. So Final Mouse claims, and listen, we'll get into Final Mouse in there. What the fuck?
Hello?
Oh, hello. We're 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 in the middle of recording.
Oh, my bad.
No, you're good. You're good.
It's just funny.
if
You're good though.
Uh, and I guess I'll be back. I'll let
if you
guys
give
keep
us
going.
maybe another
soon.
like 40 minutes at the most, it shouldn't be too much longer.
Gotcha. Is that a recording chat?
Yeah,
No.
whatever.
Okay. Just like tag me or something.
Yeah, I got you. If you want to just hop down on a different channel, we'll join you later.
Okay.
Who the fuck was that girl?
Yeah,
Anyway,
who was that? All right,
I
anyway.
have no idea. What were I fucking saying now?
We'll get
The
into
Glass?
Final Mouse, right? Like, you know, and their claims.
Oh, that's right. So yeah, Final Mouse claims
Yeah.
the glass will be more durable than
Yep.
standard glass, meaning that when you're typing, because obviously a keyboard types, right? So when you're
Yep.
slamming the key, a key is usually slamming onto aluminum, which means that I mean, a plastic is never going to f up aluminum in any sense.
Right.
But if you're slamming on glass constantly, especially with pixels underneath it, there's definitely a chance that that could, have some
Yeah,
durability.
like that was like my biggest thought with it.
Yep. But according to Final Mouse, everything's hunky dory. But we can get into the Final Mouse's like other releases, their mice in particular, because I own two Final Mouse products in the past, and I have opinions on them. I think I
Yeah.
have pretty decent opinions on them. But
Yeah.
um, the keyboard will be priced at 350,
Right.
which some people I think who are maybe a bit less knowledgeable on keyboards will probably call that insanely expensive. But again, if you know anything about like the keyboard hobby and making your own custom keyboards and stuff, as long as um, Final Mouse's claims are true in terms of the durability being okay, 350 is actually super reasonable, in my opinion, at least for what you're
Yeah.
getting here. Especially considering the housing is also full aluminum, so the build is very impressive, at least on paper. Um, the thing with Final Mouse though is they have never once released a product that didn't just have insane issues at launch, whether it just be quality control issues or stuff degrading over time. They have a infamously terrible support um, system, so if something does end up happening, they either take forever to get back to you, or they just don't ever get back
Sure.
to you, and you're
Yeah.
just kind of AWOL. And
Right.
the other thing is their products are very hype beast, meaning that if you want this keyboard, it will release. It'll go for pre-order. I think they said in early 2023. If
Something
you are
like
not
that.
at the computer, um, with your credit card and address info like saved into the browser,
Yep.
and you don't check out within, I want to say like 3 minutes, the keyboard will be sold out, and you will never ever get a hold of it
Yep.
unless you buy through scalpers who will easily sell this thing for probably $600+.
Easily.
So
Yeah. Without question.
that is the big negative with Final Mouse products themselves. Is yes, they're very cool. I think they're very innovative. I think they're fantastic on paper, and I think they push the industry forward because I would not be surprised, considering how cool this is, if we see companies like Razer, Corsair sort of make their own takes on this.
Sure.
Because I think obviously borrowing ideas from other brands actually a good thing. So I'm glad Final Mouse is actually pushing something different in the keyboard space and just the gaming peripheral space in general. Because we could even see something like this on mice in the future if
Yep.
if someone wanted to do something like that. So
Yeah.
it's super super cool, but I definitely have my worries and concerns just because it's by Final Mouse.
Yeah, I mean, the Unreal Engine 5, you know, LED screen concept, like that's sick, right? Like that's really dope. I think the design of the keyboard itself is also really cool. Um, you know, and as you kind of mentioned, the various materials they're using and stuff like that. Like as a whole, it specs wise, anyways, is a good keyboard.
Yep, for sure.
Um, Obviously the selling point is that, you know, LED screen underneath, but you know, that's kind of what drives the intrigue and interest, you know, into it. Um,
Mhm.
at the same token, so as cool as that is, right? Two things to mention. One, you already touched on it. Final Mouse being who Final Mouse is, right? I mean that can't be understated.
Yeah.
Two, the fact that think about how often you actually look at your keyboard while you're using it,
Yeah.
right? Like I never look at my keyboard. Even like obviously like a lot of keyboards have all kinds of different RGB effects, and they have the ones where they do that the impact lighting essentially, to where you hit a key and it does like an explosion on your keys, for the lights or whatever, right? Like, even that, how often are people sitting there looking down at their keyboard while they're doing that?
Yeah, I think the whole thing with Final Mouse though is like, since this has its own CPU and GPU, like those animations per se, um, are like controllable as well. So I think
Eh,
the whole idea is they want you to look at your keyboard more, and they
Yeah,
want you to do some, bullshit tasks on your keyboard
sure.
maybe, or play some games while you and your friends are just in Discord like on
Yeah,
the
I was gonna
keyboard.
say
Like,
that in the reveal, they did show what almost looked like a it was like just a lion like running, and like it almost looked like they were potentially playing something on screen. I don't know. I couldn't really quite tell.
yeah, it looked like a jump game or something like that. It's like
Yeah,
you try to make it a certain distance, and I could
yeah.
see stuff like that.
So yeah,
Um,
yeah, I mean you might be right. You know what I mean? They might be doing something along those lines. But,
oh, here it is. Yeah, so they have something called the skin market. Oh, I see. Okay. So the skin market,
that
artists can
sounds
submit
so
skins.
wrong.
uh, Okay, dude, it's Final Mouse.
Okay.
This is just nothing but normal for them. Artists
Okay.
can submit skins and join an ever-growing community with infinite possibilities, monetize your skins, or submit them for free. So
Gotcha.
I do think we will get a big pool of free skins. But definitely I think some of the coolest skins will be paid. And it seems like on here, on the picture, there is a um ones that cost money are considered premium skins. And there's a 2,000 currency. So it looks like they're gonna have their own currency in the skin market.
Okay.
And then there's another one that's 2,500, but it's like grayed out and it shows in the vault. So I don't know if in the vault means it's coming out in the future and they're just sort of showing it off now or what.
Gotcha.
But
Gotcha.
nonetheless, I don't know how much 2,000. I hope it's not $20 because that'd be kind of insane. I don't know how much 2,000 is going to translate to,
Sure.
but um nonetheless, I think this is a really cool way even for Final Mouse to sort of appreciate artists a bit and sort of get their work out there in a certain light as well. Um, I think it's really cool for those types of people in particular because they can make. I'd at least assume that the artists who put up their designs and work for premium would
Yeah.
get some level of kickback on that.
I would hope.
Yeah. So as long as they do that, I think Final Mouse is doing a really, really like cool thing for the community.
Yeah.
Even if the keyboard ends up being dog shit, I think it's still a really, really cool idea, and hopefully something that other companies can sort of adopt.
Yeah. I wish they didn't use the word skin though. It just sounds like all I picture is like them just taking the flesh off of a human and just saying, "Here's a skin." Like I don't know. It's just say like theme or something. I don't know. Maybe I'm
Theme?
just fucked up.
I don't know what else they call it though.
Not skin. I don't know. It just sounds gross, man. I just don't like it. I don't like it. But no, I mean it's again. It seems cool. I like the idea of them, trying to provide support with others too, and kind of doing stuff there. I mean, it'll be interesting. Will I buy it? No. Will you buy it?
Probably not,
No.
but I wouldn't promise no. I think it depends on where I am financially when it comes out.
That's
'Cause
yeah. I
it
guess
is
that's fair.
cool as fuck. It's a super cool product, and I
Yeah.
would love to have it. But
Yeah.
yeah, 350. Even
A
though I
little
think it's
steep.
worth 350, it's still obviously a lot of money.
Yeah,
So
it's still steep. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. And to round out our gaming news for this episode, um, big thing happened just a few days ago with Fortnite and the and Epic Games and the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission. It's been an ongoing case and thing happening for a couple of years now, I think, where Fortnite and Epic were accused of essentially manipulating users with various techniques and patterns to convince these users, aka mostly children, um, to purchase things, such as like V-Bucks and things like that.
Isn't that
Um,
every company ever?
that's
Don't they
right.
have
You know what I
they have
mean?
people they hire specifically to do that?
Right. However, some way, somehow, I guess Fortnite and Epic, in particular, um, I guess they did specific things that you can't do when it comes to that. Again, using what's referred to as like dark patterns and as well as just collecting data from children without a parent's consent. Um,
I see.
and they were also accused of having like like defaulted settings that was considered to be harmful towards children and even teens. So um what's crazy is the amount they have to pay is $520 million in relief
Significantly
funds.
more money than what? That is like significant. How much did Blizzard have to pay back for their sexual assault scandal?
And not even close to that.
Wasn't it like 1 million or some shit?
Yeah, yeah.
That is
um
disgusting.
that is a lot of money. um Yeah, 520 mil. I think it's getting split up two different ways if I read correctly. That's right. Um, yeah, so 275
No,
million dollar penalty um for violating children's privacy law, change default privacy settings and pay 245 million in refunds for tricking users into making unwanted charges.
refunds. What does that mean?
In other words, like the people, like just like any sort of like settlement that happens, you know what I mean?
So if
You
you
know,
do anything in Fortnite, you get a refund.
not necessarily. I think it's like anybody who tries to make a claim towards that settlement kind of deal. You get a portion of that money. Um,
Gotcha.
Now obviously, if you're the only person to try to claim that settlement, well, hey, you just won yourself $245 million. But
Not bad.
I don't expect that to happen. Speaking of which, funny enough, I got a thing in the mail the other day. Um, it was a check for like $17, and I'm like, the fuck is this? Um, Turns out my old bank got sued. Um, and uh, yeah, they had to pay out uh money to everyone. I don't even fucking remember like ever saying, yeah, I want money. Um,
I don't think you have to in every scenario.
yeah, maybe not in every scenario. In this scenario, I think you'd have to, like, because obviously, for example, like, I mean, I didn't start playing Fortnite until I was 25. So like, it's not like I would be eligible because I'm a grown adult. You know what I mean? So
I see. Okay, so it's only minors who could take it.
I think it's more along the lines of like parents can make claims, because obviously like that was the big issue, right? Like a lot of kids were getting like parents cards and stuff like that. And obviously some parents were, they're just trying to do a nice thing for their kids, and like, oh yeah, you want to go buy this character in Fortnite, here you go. Next thing you know, $500 later. um and at the time when a lot of this was happening, like, you couldn't get a refund on it, you couldn't, like, it just, hey, tough shit, deal with it. And I
Yeah,
and I think that's where it all started. Since then, Fortnite and Epic, like, they've made some solid changes since then. Um, like,
so the government. So what you're saying is the government is bailing out bad parenting.
pretty much, pretty
Okay.
much. Yeah,
So
that's yeah, that's pretty much what's happening. I mean, I don't think it's necessarily horrible parenting. You know what I mean? I think it's just one of those things to where kids will be kids, man. I think it's yeah, but you see it happen all the time. You know what I mean? It's where kids like will sit there and they'll fucking order shit from like Amazon using their parents' money and whatnot. So
yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? So again, I don't think it's necessarily bad parenting. I think it's just kids being kids. But I mean, again, at Fortnite and Epic, like they've made some good changes since all this happened, to where like now there is like a lot of parental settings and the ability to undo purchases, as well as giving popping up like just various warnings and things like that before going about it. So but again, I mean, just the big takeaway there. I mean, just an unprecedented amount of money, um, having to be paid back. Yeah, $520 million, man.
Yeah, it's pretty high.
That's a lot. That's a lot. But
but,
for a game that's also been around for 5 years and as popular it's been, I think it's fair to say they got the money.
yeah, they definitely got that. So
Yeah. But anywho, on to sports. On to sports. It's time for sports segment. Anyway, big things happening in the sports world. Obviously, some big things outside of the American football world, which is primarily what we talk about. But Lionel Messi, one of the greatest footballers of all time,
his
winning
wife's hot as fuck, bro. Oh, I know.
winning his first ever World Cup. This was his fifth attempt. Only the second time he's ever made it to the finals. In what was honestly a phenomenal game too. Like it was back and forth, a lot of drama, a lot of action. Kylian Mbappe for France, who's a phenomenal young talent, and I mean, he's gonna be the guy's gonna be a superstar for a very long time. He got a hat trick during the game, and I think he became the youngest player to get like two hat tricks in a World Cup, or something along those lines. I don't know. There was some sort of record with that. I can't fully remember it, but again, hell of a game, absolutely awesome. Um, Salt Bay was on the field for some reason. Um, that stupid chef, um, and like he kept going around trying to like essentially like take the World Cup trophy from the players,
Oh, yeah, I did see that.
which was kind of shitty. I also love the fact that when he went up to Messi, Messi literally turned around, looked at him like, "The fuck are you doing?" and just kept walking. Like it was honestly one of the greatest things I've ever seen. Um, but side note with that, uh, there's a photo of Messi holding up, the World Cup trophy and celebrating with it.
Yep.
Um, it has now become the most liked photo on Instagram, surpassing
Really?
surpassing the egg. Literally just some random ass egg photo was the most liked photo on Instagram, and now that photo of excuse me of him holding up the trophy is the most liked photo.
Interesting.
Yeah, I saw various like pictures and scenes of Argentina's like World Cup championship parade. I mean, the amount of people there, holy fuck. Um, it was insane. You'd have to see it if for yourself, but um, I also saw a video like Messi literally could barely even get into his driveway because that many people were just lined up outside his home.
That's
Um,
actually annoying.
yeah, I'd imagine that's kind of frustrating, but like at the same token, you know, a pretty special moment for a guy very well deserving of it. So shout out to him. As well as another non-football topic. Um, Aaron Judge becomes the 16th captain in the Yankees history. The Yankees obviously been around in baseball for a very very long time. One of the most prestigious franchises in sports in the world. Not even just in baseball or in America, but in the world. Um, and I mean that's got to be some honor. You know what I mean? To sit there and you are look at me, you I am the captain. you are, the guy, right? Like you are up there amongst some pretty legendary names like Derek Jeter and DiMaggio and Babe Ruth and various others. So um,
Very exciting.
yeah, no, that's some great stuff. Um, but now onto some topics that you uh actually care about. Some football stuff, man. For the crazy weekend in the NFL this past weekend. Um, a lot of big comebacks happened, right? Between the Jags erasing a 17-point deficit over the Cowboys to beat them in
Yup.
OT. It was a great game too.
Yup. Yo,
Um,
who was my DL last week, bro? You remember?
uh, was it the Jags?
It was Doug Peterson, baby.
That's right. It was Doug Peterson. That's right.
He came through. He
He
fucking
did.
came through.
He actually did. And you know what? Funny enough, man, Trevor Lawrence actually played pretty well. He actually
He
looked
played
he
really
looked
well,
good.
actually.
Yeah, he looked good against a really tough defense. So,
Yeah.
yeah, no, it was good. Um, the Bengals also making the 17-point comeback. The Bucks looked really good in the first half. Brady was looking more like himself. They had a good running game going. Like they looked good. And then second half came, and I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
Everything just went to shit. Um, which was crazy, and yet they're still probably going to make the playoffs. So there's there's that. Um, the the Colts having one of the worst losses ever in the NFL. I mean, even worse, and funny enough, same guy involved in it. Even worse than the 28-3 loss in the Super Bowl. I think this is probably worse. Um, even though it's a Super Bowl and is the magnitude of that game, this is imagine being up 33 points and you just say, "Fuck it, we're gonna lose."
Yeah. It's got to be a curse of Matt Ryan at this point. I think
It
it's
really
confirmed.
does. It really does. Um, Good old Matty Ice. Speaking of which, he has been benched again. Um, and they're going to the backup once again. Um,
Nick Foles.
yeah, yeah. So should be should be fun. Should be interesting to see what happens there, especially with Jeff Saturday at coach now
Yeah.
and things like that. But yeah, the Colts are just they're something, man.
Or something.
But another big major moment happening that I don't know if I want to talk about it because I'm still hurting from it.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I watched it happen live, and
Oh
I'm
no, you watched it live.
oh brother, I wanted to put a hole in my wall.
Gee.
I just don't get it. Like I don't understand what the thought was by just trying to play some like backyard football with
Yep.
no time on the clock and you're tied. Just take it to overtime. Hence why a run play was probably called up or drawn up rather.
Yep.
Um,
Peru.
and instead he laterals it to Jacoby Myers, who then says, "Hey, I'm gonna throw it to arguably the slowest guy on the field. That is 30 yards behind me by himself with nobody around him."
I was gonna say, when have laterals like really ever worked out in the NFL? You know?
Don't remind me of that because the last like big successful one I saw was when the Dolphins did it to New England not that long ago. So
Oh,
yeah, there's that. There's that.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Um yeah, I don't know what the train of thought was there. First off, it wasn't the design play. Like that hence why you could just kind of tell everybody's like, "You what are we doing? What the fuck is going on?"
Like,
Um
does it get worse than this?
yeah. So I like again, I don't really and he just lobs it up to Chandler Jones, former Patriot, by the way. Chandler Jones, who's just standing there. He's just waiting. He's just chilling. And then of course, fucking Mac gives the probably worst tackle attempt I think I've ever seen. Um, the man looked like he was trying to draw a charge in the NBA. Like that's genuinely how that looked. But yeah, uh yeah, yeah. I don't get it. And the question was, so they were on like their own like 45-yard line. So it's not even like they're that far from the end zone. Like, go for the Hail Mary, lob it up.
Yep.
However, however, um, when Belichick was asked about that, Belichick being Belichick was pretty blunt. He's pretty blunt, pretty honest. And was like, he wouldn't be able to throw it far enough. Shit you not, that is what he said.
About our boy
About
Mac.
yeah, about Mac Jones.
Damn, dude, that's unlucky.
That's yeah. Yeah. And I mean, don't get me wrong, Mac doesn't exactly have the strongest arm in the NFL. Hence
Yeah.
why their offense isn't really designed for, big plays, but I mean at the same token, when you don't really have a deep threat, like what's the point? Um
Yeah, you're not wrong. Your receivers aren't exactly
yeah. I
S
mean
tier or anything.
right,
So
when Jacoby Myers is your best receiver, which don't get me wrong, he is very talented and is a solid guy, but when that's your best guy, I mean, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. But crazy weekend, man. I mean, the Lions, who that was my pick for DL of the week. Um, they come up with a big win over the Jets. In in
What has come upon the Lions, man?
I don't think it's anything new, brother. Like that's the thing. Even if you go back into the early parts of the season, even in those games they lost, they were all really close games. A lot of them were high scoring games too. Their offense has been clicking the entire year. Their offense has been one of the best offenses all season. All season. They have so many playmakers on that offense, and Jared Goff has been productive.
Yep.
So like that's the thing, man. Like I think I think the chemistry is just finally coming together for that young core and all that young group. Amon-Ra St. Brown is a stud. Jamal Williams, obviously, has been carrying the workload while DeAndre Swift was out, and then Swift comes back and he, Jamal Williams is still doing his thing, but now Swift is also producing. Like it is just all around just great chemistry happening, and the defense is actually getting better too. Like that's the other side. So the defense was the worst defense in the league, but now they're starting to improve. Like I'm telling you, I said it last week. I'm going to say it again. Watch this team make a run in the playoffs. Watch it happen.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to count them out.
Yeah, I think there's a solid possibility it happens. But
Keep an eye on the Jags too. To be honest with you.
yeah. Honestly, they're not out of contention yet. So, but
The Titans are falling apart, literally. So
yeah, that's fair to say. That's definitely fair to say. But we're just about to kind of wrap things up here. However, before we get into our final two pieces here, crazy idea that I came up with that was super original on my part, right? Like I definitely came up with it all on my own. Totally didn't steal it from anywhere else.
nope.
No, I can't even say that. The Kelsey brothers on the New Heights podcast, which is a fucking phenomenal podcast, by the way. Um, a while back, for Thanksgiving, they did like their own little turkey bowl, to where they drafted, essentially a backyard football team, that consisted of former, a lot of former NFL players and greats, as well as some current ones. But um, I don't know about you, man, but I remember when I was a kid, when Christmas break came,
Mhm.
I remember, that like 2 week break that you got. I remember meeting up with friends saying, "Hey, let's go play some pickup football." I remember anytime it snowed, we're like, "Yo, it snowed. We're playing tackle football today."
Oh,
That not you? That didn't happen for you?
nah, not when it snowed, man. That was more of a
Oh
fall thing.
man, that's crazy.
Yeah,
Dude, the
we'd always
snow
do it
was
around
great though.
September.
But the snow was great because like when the snow happened, man, it was like, I mean, you're like anybody who played QB, which was usually me, um, your hands would go numb. But like but like getting tackled on the snow, it was like a nice little blanket. Like it's oh man, dude, it was great. It was great.
Yeah, but
I miss those days. I miss those days. But
must have been
anywho,
cold, man.
it was definitely cold, but so much fun. Um But anyway, I thought it'd be fun for us to do our very own, nice little Christmas bowl. A lot of I see like a lot of families do this for like a Christmas tradition is that they get together and they play some pickup football,
Yeah.
which is pretty cool. So I thought we'd make kind of our very own uh pickup football game, almost in like a fantasy draft style, so we're just gonna go back and forth between our picks. We can't pick the same people. Um, so if you steal my pick, fuck you. If I steal yours, tough shit. Um, we have to pick 5 players. All right. Now, obviously, these players are going to be playing both sides of the ball, so keep that in mind.
Yep.
Um, but we have to pick 5 players and a coach.
Okay.
The positions for our 5 players: you need a QB, you need a running back, you need a wide receiver. Question: should we do an offensive lineman to snap the ball? But then, well, actually, no, because they're gonna go out. Maybe let's do a tight end. I think that'd be a good idea.
Yeah, that works. Yeah.
All right, we'll do tight end, and then a defensive player. Could be any
Ooh.
defensive player.
Okay. Okay.
All right. And I will let you pick first.
I can pick anyone.
You can pick anyone. You can pick anyone. Okay, let's just go down the list. So who is your who would be your QB?
Such a tough one. I'm gonna say. I'm gonna go Joe Montana.
Joe Montana.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. That's a good pick. It's a good pick.
Thank you. Thank you.
I am gonna have to go with the human cheat code, Mike Vick.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Gotta go with Mike Vick, man. I mean, like at that point, I got myself a QB and a running back in one person, and with his arm, just lob it deep. Just lob it deep.
Great thrower of the football. Great runner of the football.
Yep, yep. Did some shitty things in his life, but we're not going to talk about that.
Yeah, man. He got better. He got better.
Yes, he did. He did. And I will say not to sit there and say that what he did was like this makes up for it or anything like that. But I will say a lot of people do say, like the guys that played with him, been around him, say that all in all he's a really good dude. And he's trying to correct his his mistakes that he made in the past. So
Definitely more than what a lot of people can say. So
yeah, 100%. All right. So Joe Montana. Ooh, that's an interesting pick. I also love that neither one of us picked Tom Brady.
Guy runs like 7.3. I'm good on that.
That was kind of my thought, truthfully. Like, yeah, sure, he's gonna drop dimes for me all day, but like, yeah, I don't know, man.
Just sitting duck back there, man. I can't.
Yeah, like who's he gonna cover on the defensive side of the ball? All right, who do you got for a running back?
I'm gonna go LT.
LT, I like that pick. That's a good pick.
Good,
It's a
good all
good
round
pick.
back.
Yeah,
Fast, quick.
yeah. Can obviously catch the ball. That's
Good catch for the
ooh,
football. Yep.
ooh. That's a good pick. I like that one. I like that one. As a Pats fan, man, growing up, like all those matchups against the Chargers, dude, I was always so fucking nervous because of
Yeah.
LT. Like, dude, like that was some
LT was
tough
wicked,
days.
man.
That was some tough days. Even honestly, even his time with the Jets, like he was still really good. So yeah, that man was a stud.
Yep. Definitely one of the best backs all time for sure.
100%. 100%. Speaking of which, my pick at running back, I have to go with, in my opinion, the guy that is the best back of all time. Barry Sanders.
Yeah.
Gotta go Barry
contemplating him,
Sanders.
for sure.
Got to. I mean, like, I think you put him anywhere other than Detroit, and if he played longer, the man's 100% a multi-time Super Bowl champion without
No
question.
doubt. Yeah, no doubt.
And is truly one of not obviously best back, but like is also one of the best players to ever play in the NFL. I mean the guy was just that was another human cheat code. You know what I mean? Just the guy could just do it all.
No doubt.
So
No doubt.
Yep.
He was insane.
Yep. Who you got for receiver?
Thought about this one a lot, as in the past 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And listen, bro, I will die on this hill. I will die on it. I think. Okay, listen, I'm discounting Jerry Rice. Of course, Jerry Rice is the best wide receiver ever.
Of course, right?
Fair
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah.
Discounting him. I think Terrell Owens is a better receiver than Randy Moss, so I will go with Terrell Owens.
Ooh.
I think he's better. I'm sorry.
Ooh.
I said.
That's a hot take. That's a hot take. I mean,
Dude.
ooh.
I mean, listen. Terrell, dude, he had this thing about him, bro. He had this thing about they could both take over games, obviously.
Yeah.
Terrell, he got in the defense's fucking mind. He got in their brain stems, dude. They couldn't even function.
You can make the same argument for Randy, though.
No, you can't.
Randy literally created a term like getting mossed.
Yeah, true.
Like you got like come on now. Although it's funny, like I'm arguing, for Randy Moss. However, he's not even my pick. As great of a receiver as he was, arguably had probably the best rookie season of any NFL player, in NFL history.
Yeah.
My pick, funny enough, isn't even Jerry Rice. It's actually another former Lion, Calvin Johnson, man, Megatron.
Yep.
Megatron.
Yeah, dude was insane. Retired way too early, although I don't blame him since he was on the Lions.
Sure. But another guy to where you put him on, probably just about any different team, and guy's probably a Super Bowl champion. I mean, yeah, the guy was completely unstoppable, and man, his size, being able to move as fast as he could, catch as well as he could, like hands down, genuinely, probably, I would easily say top. Shit, I might even say top 3 receivers to ever play.
So you could definitely put him right up there with Randy Moss, Terrell Owens, Jerry Rice. He's right in that conversation for sure.
Yeah. But now, when you look at my little roster here, between Mike Vick, who's just going to lob it deep to him every time. Barry Sanders, who you can just dump the ball off to, who's going to make some plays. And then now Megatron. I don't know how you stop those three, man. I don't know how you do it.
Takes a great head coach to stop that.
I guess so. But before we get to the coach, who's your tight end?
Oh, I get to go first?
Yeah, you've been picking first this entire time.
Oh shit. Okay. It's a toughie.
Mm.
Except, no, it's not, bitch. I'm going fucking Gronk. Why wouldn't I?
Of course, right?
Best
Like
tight end ever play the fucking
I
game.
100%.
Can do literally everything
100%.
on the field.
100%. I think. Well, I don't know about everything on the field because, like, again, flashback to the Dolphins Patriots game. He's the reason why the lateral play worked. So, you know, I don't know if he could tackle, but
well, whatever, bro. Whatever, bro.
but yeah, no, I mean, I 100% agree, man. The guy, hands down, definitely the best tight end to ever play. I think, I think if he's healthy his entire career, I mean, the records he would have shattered. I mean, if you just look back at what he did and just the amount of games he played, like the limited amount of games he played in comparison to, like, let's say, like Tony Gonzalez or like Shannon Sharp or even Travis Kelce, who has obviously also done some great things. Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, Gronk is absolute beast, absolute stud. My pick for tight end. Since you kind of took my pick, I gotta go with Tony Gonzalez, man. In my opinion, the second best tight end to ever play the game. He was doing what tight ends are doing now before it was a thing in the NFL. I mean, truthfully, if you put him in today's NFL, who knows, man? Who knows? And he played for such a long time, played across 3 different decades, which is crazy to think. He started in like the late 80s and then retired in 2013, I think. But and even like towards the tail end of his career, like that was kind of when you started seeing that transition to the NFL that we see today. It's where the tight ends are such a big part of the passing game, and you see a lot more receiving tight ends than you do just the plain old basic go out and block tight end. And yeah, I mean, and even then he was still producing big numbers, and yeah, no, I think definitely hands down another guy who's one of the all-time greats, one of the best to ever do it. Just in the NFL period. But who do you got for defensive player?
Man, this is a tough one. I think I'm going to go with, since rushing the QB is so important.
Sure.
I think I'm gonna go with a little homage here. Go ahead and go Reggie White.
Reggie White. I like that. That's a good pick.
Dude was a monster.
Yeah. No, 100%. 100%. Yeah, I mean, just imagine having fucking Reggie White running at you. I'd run the other way. I'd run the other way. He'd break me in half. The guy was
being like drafted into the NFL as an offensive lineman, and then you just have Reggie White being like, "Hey, yo, what up, bro?"
Yeah.
Just lined up on the other side of you.
Right. Yeah. No. There's no way now. I'd run the other way. Just You want to get to the quarterback? Go ahead. Have at it.
Yeah.
That's a good pick though. It's a good pick. I like that. So not gonna lie, this pick for me it was a bit of a toss up between 2 different people. But I think I gotta stick with the overall theme, excuse me, of my team. And while my team is probably not gonna be too good at tackling, they're all going to be really quick enough to at least catch you and try to tackle you.
Ah, okay.
I got to go with Deion Sanders, man. I got to go with Prime Time.
Okay, fair enough.
Coach Prime, baby.
Yeah, you're tackling nobody.
Yeah, right. You're right. We're not tackling shit, but we're about to put up 107 points on you. You know what I mean? Like, just some absolute speedsters out there. But I mean, dude, and hey, man, if we're kickoffs, whether it be like somebody's actually attempting to kick off the ball. I remember when I was a kid, we didn't kick. We literally just threw the ball up in the air.
Yep.
And that was our kickoff. Oh, dude, one of the greatest return men to ever do it.
True.
You know what I mean?
True.
Like good luck. Good luck stopping that. You think Joe Montana's gonna tackle Deion Sanders? I don't think so, brother.
He'll throw the football at him, bro.
And finally, man, who do you got for your coach?
This might be surprising out of all coaches I could choose, but I'm gonna go with Bill Parcells.
Bill Parcells. I like that. I actually like that. Very. I was gonna say underrated coach. I mean, obviously a very legendary coach, but like I think underrated in terms of when you talk about like the all time greats.
Yep. Probably should have had more under his belt. Fucking Jerry Jones pushed him out because ego.
Yep.
Definitely, I think could have at least won a couple more. The Cowboys going forward, but
no, 100%.
Unlucky he got pushed out.
Yeah, no, I think Parcells, man, and I mean you also look at like just some of the guys that coach under him. I mean Bill Belichick obviously being probably one of the bigger ones, but
I mean if you could bring 4 different teams to the playoffs, like you're just overall absolutely solid.
Right. I mean there's no question. That's a good pick. I like that pick. I think my pick is going to come as a surprise to you. Because obviously you know me. I didn't even mention it other. No, not Nick Sirianni. I like Nick Sirianni though. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not an Eagles fan, but I like Nick Sirianni. He fits into that culture just so well.
Why the fuck not?
But not Sirianni. When I have all these great choices to go from, obviously I'm not going to pick the guy who still hasn't fully proven himself yet. Obviously mentioning being a Patriots fan and all that stuff, you would automatically think my pick is going to be, who, in my opinion, and a lot of people's opinion, is the greatest coach of all time, in Bill Belichick. However, that is not my pick. And here's why. Looking at the layout of my team.
Yes.
Right. And considering the kind of mind that Bill Belichick has always been a defensive-minded coach.
Yes.
Everything he's ever done, it's always been what he's done from a defensive standpoint. He's always put together these great defenses with a lot of guys that are just complete no-names and turn them into these household names, right?
Yep.
And I can't even fully say that because obviously some of his early years when he had guys like Rodney Harrison and Richard Seymour, Vince Wilfork, and I wouldn't say those guys were necessarily no names, obviously. But at least looking over some little bit more recent years. Again, very defensive minded. However, from the offensive side of things, not saying that he doesn't know how to put together a good offense, but I wouldn't consider him to be the greatest offensive mind of all time.
True, I agree.
So considering my roster, my pick, Tom Landry.
Oh, I thought for sure you were about to say Andy Reid.
No. Although that would have been a decent pick too. Tom Landry, man, the inventor of the West Coast offense, and truthfully, one of the greatest offensive minds to ever do it.
Yeah, true. Yeah. He coached for a long ass time.
Very, very long time. Obviously, all those years in San Fran, and all the success he had there, with your QB of choice.
Indeed.
But
yep.
Yeah, I gotta go with Tom Landry, man. Especially with the team that I've built. All the speedsters I have, all the deep play, making capabilities. That's that's what I gotta go with, man. I think it just makes sense. I think it just makes sense.
Makes sense. I don't disagree.
Yeah. Well, I like that. That was fun. I think we put together some interesting teams. I think my team would absolutely slap yours, but you know, that's where we're at.
You're wrong, but okay.
All right. You guys let us know in the comments down below who you guys think would win in this matchup, and truthfully, just who who has the better team, and as well as maybe create your own team. Let us know who your picks are in the comments, please. And rounding it out, man, who do you have as your DL player and or team or coach of the week, man? Who is
Gardner motherfucking Minshew,
of course,
baby.
yeah. I mean, that just makes sense.
Gardner
Yeah.
fucking Minshew. Let's go.
That just
He's
makes
fucking
sense.
winning on Saturday,
Yeah.
dude. I don't
Yeah.
want to hear it.
It should be a fun matchup. Watching those two teams go at it, especially without having Jalen Hurts. But although I mean Gardner has obviously shown he can step up when you need him to. So
It's time to show. It's his opportunity to show he could be a starter somewhere else. Okay.
maybe. Yeah, I mean, you think back to that run he had with the Jags, like he was actually pretty solid, man. He's pretty productive. So who knows?
A really shitty team around him.
Yeah. But I like that pick. That's a good pick. It's a good pick. Mine's gonna be not necessarily who I think is gonna be a standout this week. More so just giving some props. I mean, he's probably still going to be a standout, and because he got a Pro Bowl selection. A guy by the name of, I don't know if you saw the clip, but a guy by the name of Jeremy Reeves.
Ooh.
Yeah. So Jeremy Reeves is he's a member of the Washington Commanders. He's a special teams guy.
Nah.
He's a special teams guy. That's literally all he does. However, he's been cut by roster, or cut by team after team after team. I believe he's in his 4th season in the NFL, 4th or 5th season. And the Commanders finally kept him. He made the cut. And the guy's been a big playmaker for them on special teams, and has really just been, leading the way there for them all season. And after going through and again, just talking about his NFL experience of, just never making a roster cut, and having to jump around from place to place to place. It was just announced that he's a Pro Bowler. He's literally going to be starting on special teams for the Pro Bowl.
What?
What did you just send me?
The biggest news in the NFL, dude.
Gotcha. But yeah, this guy, he's gonna be a starter on special teams for the Pro Bowl. And truthfully, again, obviously you haven't seen it, but if anybody else hasn't seen it, go look it up. Coach Ron Rivera, who I fucking love. I love Ron Rivera.
He's a cool guy.
Yeah. He was letting all his guys know, who was going to be Pro Bowlers for the season. Like, he was pulling them all in his office, and it's like, hey, congratulations. And he tried playing it off too. Like, he had like this look of like concern on his face, like, man, I don't know how to tell you this kind of deal. Like, he played it off pretty well, but obviously Terry McLaurin, being a Pro Bowler, guy's the face of the franchise there.
True.
And then
fucking QB though.
Yeah, true. And then Jonathan Allen, an obviously phenomenal defensive tackle. Tress Way, who has been one of the best punters in the league for a very long time. And then Jeremy Reeves. And when he tells everybody that that Reeves was selected, It's just such a heartfelt moment, and it's just one of those things that you love about football is that brotherhood and camaraderie amongst everyone.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, it's
Um,
really cool.
yeah, so again, if you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. Like it was cool to watch, man. It was really
Yeah,
cool to
will
watch.
do, will do.
But 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 hey, that's gonna do it. It was a fun episode, man. It was a fun episode. I enjoyed this one, and funny enough, it's actually our shortest episode so far.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, not by much, but by a little bit. I do want to give a shout out to everybody who watched last week's episode and checked out the various clips on social media and stuff. We definitely appreciate it. Um,
Says you.
oh, wow, that's rude. I hope you guys enjoy your weekend, man. Be sure to check us out TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. Be sure to subscribe. Right here on YouTube, keeping it on the DL. Be sure to leave a like. Let us know in the comments down below what you think. Give us some feedback. And most importantly, man, enjoy
Oh
the
yeah. Did
holidays.
you see? Sorry. Did you see
You're good.
fucking NFL's switching Sunday ticket?
Oh my god, I forgot to talk about that. Yeah. Big news. Yeah. So Sunday Ticket starting next year is going to be on YouTube.
YouTube
Um,
TV, yeah,
yeah,
or
YouTube
just
TV. And
YouTube in general, yeah, because
so
you can
yeah,
buy it
because it said
separately, right?
it was YouTube TV and YouTube Premium channels. That was what it said. Um,
Gotcha.
so I don't exactly know what that might entirely mean. I really hope that the price of it isn't insane like it was with DirecTV. Um, but at the same token, I also hope it doesn't mean that they lose Red Zone because I love NFL Red Zone
Yeah.
as much as great as Sunday Ticket was when I had DirecTV, being able to watch whatever game I wanted. Um, Red Zone is great. Like Red Zone is an awesome. I pretty much still get to watch whatever game I want, and I get to just either I just see all the big plays happen, or or when there's just nothing happening, I'm still just watching a game at least, and it's all commercial free football, and it's Red Zone's awesome. I fucking love Red Zone. So hopefully, with them acquiring Sunday Ticket, I really hope that that doesn't mean Red Zone goes away, but
Yeah. It's a 7-year deal with
it is.
YouTube.
Yeah, pretty massive deal. And yeah, I mean, just huge. I'm so happy about that, especially being a YouTube TV customer.
I think this is really good because I'd imagine at this point I don't know what the demographic is like split wise, but I'd imagine that there are so many people at this point who have just completely ditched satellite TV, and have just gone the streaming route because it's just so much easier, cheaper, and they don't lock you in any bullshit prices, right?
Right,
It just is what it is. Like, this is the price. You pay it monthly. If you don't pay it a certain month, you just don't get it that month. It's like there's no equipment to put up and take down.
right.
And the fact that the NFL, I think, is seeing that even maybe too. And, it makes obviously watching football on the go a lot easier as well. And
Yep,
I think it's just a really big positive. And like you said, if it's cheaper, if that'd be cool. Maybe they do like a bundle deal with YouTube TV, Like,
sure,
hey, you only pay X amount extra per month and we'll throw in Sunday ticket. That'd be pretty sick. But
sure.
we'll have to see.
Yeah, no, that'll be really interesting to see how that all works out. I'm again very excited about it though.
Yeah.
Like I just hope I don't lose out on Red Zone. It's like it'd be great to be able to just pull up on one monitor. I can pull up the Pats game and not have to worry about it not being on TV because I have to go watch like a shitty Steelers game or something. And
Yeah,
then
true.
and then obviously just have Red Zone up on another monitor. Like yeah, like
Yeah.
that'd be great. That'd be
That'd
great
be
to have.
ideal.
So
Yeah.
we'll we'll see. We'll see what happens. But
All right, man. And the podcast, man.
thank you for mentioning that. I totally fucking forgot about that.
I just popped in my head as I was just
Yeah.
bullshitting.
Yeah, no, thank you for mentioning that. But yeah, anywho, that's gonna do it. It's gonna wrap things up. Again, everything I said before, just keep all that in mind. And again, most importantly, guys, enjoy your holiday, man. Have a Merry Christmas. Hope hope it's good for you and all the fans. Stay and all the fam rather. Stay warm out there. And yeah, it's been fun. It's been real. Peace out.
Man, bring your dogs inside, man. Bring your
Yes.
dogs inside. It's
Definitely
gonna be cold.
Definitely bring the pets inside. Can't have them out there, man. Bring your cows inside too. You know what I mean? Fuck it.
Bring the cows inside. The
Um,
chickens, they're chilling,
yeah,
bro. Just
yeah,
bring them
yeah.
in.
But adios. Peace out.
Bye
See you
bye.
guys next week.
Bye bye.